Hello, friend. Known as the largest land carnivore on Earth, polar bears are incredibly powerful and unpredictable. In the harsh Arctic, even the smallest wrong move can lead to a life-threatening situation. Check out today's video. Story 1. In 2011, the Arctic wilderness of Svalbard, Norway, was a harsh, unforgiving landscape. A group of 13 young British schoolchildren, eager for adventure, set out on an arduous expedition organized by the British School Exploration Society, BSES. Their destination was the remote Von Post Glacier, a world away from the comforts of civilization. On 5 August, the expedition was drawing to a close, and the students were setting up camp for the night. As darkness fell, a dark figure emerged from the icy mist, a creature of the Arctic, a polar bear. It was emaciated, its once powerful body reduced to a skeleton. Desperate and hungry, it saw the camp as a potential meal. Panic broke out among the students. Some ran, others fought back with whatever they could find. But the bear was undeterred. It targeted a young, energetic 17-year-old named Horatio Chappell. The attack was swift and brutal, leaving Horatio no chance to defend himself. The terrifying screams echoed through the night, piercing the silence of the Arctic. The other students, wounded and traumatized, fought to survive. Horatio Chappell, a promising young life, snuffed out by the Arctic's most ferocious creature. News of the attack sent shockwaves around the world. How could such a tragedy happen in this day and age? The incident highlighted the dangers of venturing into the wilderness, even with experienced guides and safety precautions. It also raised questions about the impact of climate change on polar bear behavior and the delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem. The memory of Horatio Chappell serves as a stark reminder of the risks involved in exploring remote areas. This is a cautionary tale that should not be forgotten. As we continue to push the boundaries of human exploration, it is essential to approach the wild with respect and humility. We must always be prepared for the unexpected and never underestimate the power of nature. Story 2. In 1972, a tragic event occurred in Point Ley, a remote Inupiat village on Alaska's Arctic coast. Point Ley, known for its small population and proximity to the Chukchi Sea, is a place where hunting and subsistence are essential to those who call it home. It is also an area that, while beautiful with its harsh, icy landscape, is dangerous because of the presence of polar bears, one of the most dangerous animals in the world. The victim was a local man, whose identity remains anonymous in many reports, but his death would become one of the many tragic reminders of the dangers faced by those who live in the far north, where humans and wild animals often share the same territory. The man, an experienced hunter and a well-known member of the community, was out on a routine hunting trip near the village. At this time of year, polar bears were often seen in the area, attracted by the seal population, which is their primary source of food. These powerful predators, driven by hunger and increasingly reduced hunting grounds due to climate change, often ventured closer to human settlements. On that day, the man was walking alone in the snow-covered landscape, checking his traps, or perhaps looking for prey. It was not uncommon for hunters in Point Ley to be alone in such vast and harsh terrain, as many grew up learning the skills needed to survive in such an unforgiving environment. Unfortunately, the man's routine hunt took a deadly turn when a polar bear appeared out of nowhere, seemingly drawn by the man's presence. The bear, likely hungry and desperate, charged the hunter. Though the man attempted to defend himself with a rifle, his efforts were in vain. The bear was too close, too fast, and far too strong. The attack was swift and brutal, with the bear overpowering the hunter before he had any chance to flee or fight back effectively. The community responded quickly after the attack, with efforts to track down and neutralize the bear. Local authorities were called in, and a hunt for the bear was initiated to ensure that it wouldn't pose further danger to the village. In these remote areas, such incidents highlight the delicate balance that exists between humans and wildlife, a reality that the residents of Point Lay live with daily. Oh, for those living in polar bear territory, the attack in Point Lay offers valuable lessons. It is essential to always travel with a partner, remain alert to the presence of bears, and be armed with effective deterrents like firearms or bear spray. Understanding bear behavior and knowing when to retreat is equally critical. Though the people of Point Lay are resilient and deeply connected to their environment, this tragic incident serves as a chilling reminder of the constant risks posed by living so close to nature's most powerful creatures. Story 3. In 1983, a chilling incident occurred on the icy, remote islands of Svalbard, Norway, highlighting the stark dangers of living in polar bear country. Svalbard, a rugged archipelago located in the Arctic Ocean, is home to not only a harsh and unforgiving landscape, but also a thriving population of polar bears. While these majestic creatures are a symbol of the region's natural beauty, they are also one of the most dangerous predators in the world. The victim of this tragic encounter was a young man whose name remains a tragic whisper in the history of Svalbard's bear attacks. The story unfolded in the summer, when a group of tourists and researchers were staying on the islands. The group had been on an expedition, likely on one of the many scientific trips that often took place in Svalbard's stark and fascinating wilderness. These trips typically involved small groups, carefully monitored and equipped to handle the unique challenges of Arctic travel. The group had set up camp and were in the midst of their expedition when the polar bear came upon them. Although the animals are typically shy and avoid human settlements, the lure of food or curiosity can sometimes bring them dangerously close. The specific details of what triggered the attack are unclear, but it's believed the bear was hungry or desperate, driven to approach the camp by the smell of food or even the presence of humans. The young man, who had been part of a team of researchers or tourists, found himself at the wrong place at the wrong time. The bear, likely caught off guard by his presence or perhaps driven by instinct, attacked without warning. The group, realizing the immediate danger, tried to intervene, but they were too far from the scene to help in time. The attack was swift and brutal, with the bear quickly overpowering the young man before anyone could act. Local authorities responded swiftly, sending out a team to track down the polar bear. Tragically, by the time the group was able to regroup and assess the situation, the young man had succumbed to the injuries inflicted by the bear. Svalbard's community, which is familiar with the risks posed by polar bears, reacted with both sadness and a renewed sense of vigilance. The incident was a wake-up call for those working in and visiting the region. It prompted increased measures to ensure that tourists and researchers were better prepared to face the potential threat of polar bear encounters. This included increased use of armed guides, bear-proof shelters, and the requirement that groups travel with weapons for defense. The 1983 tragedy serves as a reminder of the perilous nature of the Arctic and the fine line between survival and danger when interacting with wild animals, particularly polar bears. For those planning to visit or live in polar bear territory, this incident underscores the importance of preparedness. Polar bears are formidable predators, capable of swift and deadly attacks. Travelers to areas like Svalbard must be aware of the risks and take proper precautions, never traveling alone, always keeping a sharp lookout for bear signs and carrying adequate deterrents like firearms or bear spray. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about wildlife and safety tips, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest updates. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.